Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the live stream. This is a live stream that happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube. And if you listen to it on an audio platform, then you probably do it at a later point of time on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Ghana.com, etc. In which case, I thank you and I request you to leave a rating or a review for the show. And if you're watching here right now live on the YouTube channel, welcome. We do two kinds of live streams. On Wednesdays, what happens is that I just read comments. On Saturdays, I share a link in the chat like I'm about to do right now. Here it is. I have shared a link in the chat and I have pinned it to the top of the chat. By clicking on this link, you can come on screen and we can talk face to face. So I hope that at least a few people will come today. A lot of people used to come, but then I started discouraging it because it was getting a little hard for me to, manage. But so the number has kind of dropped. But still, that's why I'm leaving the link out earlier today. So we shall see who comes. And even if nobody does, we'll do the usual thing of me reading all the comments in the chat and responding to them to the best of my ability. So hello, and let me take a look at some of the comments. Manish says hi. Nuski says I need a Wi-Fi password. What? Why? Why would you ask for a Wi-Fi password online? It's not like you are in the vicinity of any of the other people. Dragon says eager for that Meghnad Pranav episode. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. On my main channel on Monday at 8 p.m. there is going to be a special live stream featuring Pranav Radhakrishnan of Science is Dope and Meghnad of IVM podcast and his own YouTube channel Meghnad. And we are going to talk about artificial intelligence and the impact that it is going to have on society. I have already made a couple of videos about that on my main channel, and there is a show about that on the All About Now podcast on IVM that Meghnad did with some experts and some non-experts, as is the case usually. And you should watch both of them, and we can then uh, move on to the Monday wala episode. The reason I did wanted to do a special episode about it is because, as I mentioned previously, one of the things that is going to happen as a result of AI becoming more and more pervasive in society is that our understanding of what is real and what is unreal, which is already not very good, by the way, is going to suffer even more. So, like Dragoons, get eager for that Monday wala live stream. When it does happen, you'll know, and you can watch and ask questions and stuff. So, that was the notification about that. Cheyenne says, "Hi Vimoh, I'm getting married this Monday, so kind of scared." Cheyenne, you're getting. Wait, aren't you the guy who was uh, in an exam of some sort? Like, are you having an early marriage or something? Because unless I'm much mistaken, I always thought of you as the guy who was in school. But then again, I'm old. I keep forgetting things. Congratulations, man. I was joking. Congratulations. I hope you have a great life ahead. अभिनव से सर क्या मैं गधा हूँ? अभिनव, ये तुम हर बार पूछते हो। तुम्हें इतना बड़ा डाउट क्यों है अपने बारे में? Sarcastic skeptic says, "Do you love Tchaikovsky? He's my favorite. Who's your favorite?" Are you asking about Western classical music? I don't think I have any favorites. I mean, sure, Tchaikovsky is good, I guess. Uh, Dragon says, "By the way, are you following the restless protest? Goes to show the how spineless people are now, but I can't blame though." Yes, I'm watching the protests, and they're proceeding on pretty much the same uh, way, on the same path as laid down by the farmers' protest. And it seems unlikely that the government is going to act any differently. But that does not mean they know what they're doing either, because the kind of message this is sending out, the farmers to phir bhi, like, it's always the same thing. Someone is great at something, right? And the prime minister goes and stands next to them, gets pictures taken, and tries to bask in their glory. Later, they need help, and the prime minister is nowhere to be seen. But I don't think this protest is going to be a great demonstration of how spineless people are. We have seen that before. I think the spinelessness of people has been on display for quite some time. It was at its worst during the Shaheen Bagh protest, and even then it was not absolute because a lot of people were genuinely supporting it. During the farmers' protest, it changed quite a bit. And in this protest, we have already had members of major political parties going and showing solidarity with them, actors, etc., speaking out. And those who have not spoken out still have time to support it. So we shall see. It's a terrible state of affairs, and I hope these people don't have to stay on the roads for much longer. Newski says, who are these people who say themselves gadha? Pata nahi yaar. Sarcastic skeptic says, which one is your favorite violin concerto? Sarcastic, I think you are more into Western classical music than I am. My extent of my the extent of my involvement with it is that when I'm feeling something, I'm feeling in when I'm feeling like I need something, I just go over to YouTube and I search for something and I listen to it. I like if you asked me what's your favorite anime, I will struggle. If you ask me who's your favorite actor, I will struggle. So I have those problems, and uh, it extends to Western classical music also. Hmm. Newski says why people say Jai Bhim and then they say they are atheist. Isn't it hypocrisy? They're saying Jai Bhim not about the god Bhim. They're saying Jai Bhim about Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, who was the father of our constitution. उसमें एथिज्म का क्या रिश्ता है इसके साथ? Shayan says, no, I wasn't in exam. LOL. Okay. Shayan says, what do you think of gender roles? Is it really necessary for a functioning society like some claim it to be? No, it's not. I mean, sure, gender, if you need some kind of order in the immediate vicinity of your home, okay, some people have joined. Please wait for 1 minute. After this question, I'll get to you. Some people need order in their life. If you marry a person and you come to the conclusion that that person will fulfill that role, I will fulfill this role, and you are both doing it with each other's permission, great. You have the right to bring order to your life. But socially sanctioned, culturally imposed gender roles are a problem, and they're simply a tool to help perpetrate patriarchy. And it doesn't end up well for anyone, including the people who think that it's for their own betterment. uh, Vinod says, in same sex marriage, who will get alimony and from whom? I don't know, man. That's for the courts to decide. And I'm sure they will do a bang on job with it. Shreya says, I know that nothing can go back to the way it was after a big change, but is it possible for people to go back to being tolerant and having scientific temper and speaking against injustice? Shreyas, I think one of the great misconceptions that even I had until some time ago, is that before 2014, we were tolerant and had scientific temper and spoke against injustice. We didn't. The only thing that has happened in these last 9 years, sure, a lot of terrible things have happened. And the main thing that has happened in these last 9 years is that our hypocrisy has been exposed. The things that we used to pride ourselves on, which were non existent, we now know that they were non existent. The only thing that has happened in these last 9, 10 years is that shameless adoption of those things has happened. We were always a casteist society. Now we are shamelessly casteist. We were always a communal society. Now we are even more shameless about our communalism than before. We were always a violent society. It is for the first time that we are now openly saying, yes, we are violent and proud of it. So, in some ways, this is a good thing, because those who are unaware of these things, or rather those who are oblivious to these things, can now be put in a place where they have to make a clear decision. It is no longer sufficient to be centrist with respect to something like caste. You have to take a position, and when enough people take a clear position, maybe we can take one step closer to being the things that you think we were earlier: tolerant, scientific tempered, and speaking up against injustice. Uh, SAK Sana Amba Tau says, hi Vimoh, how are you? Thank you. I'm okay. I hope you're okay also. Arab says, why do you have that? Why do you have the not believe in anything unless evidence presents itself as things might exist that have left no evidence? Yeah, but then what is the reason behind it? What is the reason to believe something? If you say that we should not have the standard that unless there is evidence, I will not believe something, then you're saying that things should be believed in when there is no evidence. Then where do you draw the line? Mostly, when people say we shouldn't require evidence, they're only talking in favor of things that they are fond of, like your own religion, perhaps. But what about the other religion who says, believe me, I also don't have evidence. Will you? What about the hundreds of garbage claims being made on Instagram Reels? If you drop the need for evidence, how do you draw the line, and how do you come to the conclusion about what is real and what is not? Evidence matters. The fact that it is inconvenient when it is asked from our own personal religions and belief systems is irrelevant. Evidence should be the standard for everything. Newski says, Vimo, what is the meaning of your name? My name is Vijendra Mohanty. Vimo is the acronym for it. Vijendra Mohanty ka. Vijendra ka V and Mohanty ka Mo. The word Vimo means captivate, I think, in Sanskrit. Eman says, I am stuck on AFS. What is AFS? Oh, ads. You're stuck on ads. Okay. It's okay. Ads will go away eventually. हर काली रात के बाद एक सवेरा आता है. RF says, my friend made this argument that somehow humanity has ended up in the era where there are no extinction events and it is the perfect time for humans to exist as a proof for God. Rebuttal? ये कोविड आके गया, ये एक्सटेंशन इवेंट पोटेंशियल एक्सटेंशन इवेंट नहीं था तो क्या था? 2-3 साल पहले की बात भूल जाते तुम्हारे दोस्त लोग. There are extinction events. We have just gotten better at dealing with it. And guess why we have gotten better at dealing with it? It's because of scientific advancement, not because of God. अगर कोविड के शुरू होते ही सब गॉड का भरोसा करके बैठ जाते तो ह्यूमैनिटी समाप्त हो जाती. तुम्हारे फ्रेंड को वो बताओ. The Dark Knight says, what do you think the Indian left is lacking? Oh, wow. So many things. I think you should go to my main channel and watch a video called The Great Liberal Delusion or something. I made it like a year ago. I'm forgetting the exact name. But if you search for liberal delusion or liberal, myth or something, you'll find it. That's one thing, which is our unwillingness to engage with issues deeply, and therefore the entire liberal enterprise remains a very shallow thing. Secondly, I think the left is lacking clarity, not in terms of its own ideology, but when it comes to conveying its ideology to people. The right has no ideology except, hey, हम लोग ना तुम्हारे के religion का है, आओ हमको join कर लो. And people get that. It's simple, straightforward, and it does not require any great understanding. When the left starts talking, it goes into jargon, a lot of jargon, which is sad because the left has something even more powerful than religion, which is, you know, worker solidarity. Everyone is a worker. Surely everyone understands that they don't like their workplace, that they have issues at their workplace, that they need to have a means to approach their employer in order to demand what they require from the workplace. But this little bit also the left does not convey very effectively, which is why people keep thinking of the left as अरे वो लोग मतलब वो तो कुछ तो उधर कर रहे हैं पता नहीं. So the left really needs to simplify its message, and then maybe it'll have better luck. Guys, if you're just commenting on something, please forgive me when I don't take your comment. I'm only looking at questions because I keep missing a lot of questions. Sarcastic says, if you can be an absolute master of one subject, would it be arts or science? Arts, writing, messaging, uh, being able to write a lot of words every single day. That would be my goal. And by the way, curious thing, I wonder if anyone wants to test it. I think that whenever you ask people if you could just wish for something and get it, most people will not wish for something that they don't have at all. Most people will wish for more of what they already have. Like, I'm already a writer and I want to be better at writing. If someone is good at math, they will want to be better at math. If someone is physically fit, they will want to be even more fit. So it's an illusion. I think it's not right to think that people want what they don't have. I think in my experience, I have found that people usually want what they already have. They want more of it. Eman says, कैसा चल रहा है भाई लोग? सही है Eman. I hope you are also okay. Cloud says, can you explain the difference between an agnostic and an agnostic atheist? An agnostic is an adjective. So you have to understand what the words mean, right? An agnostic means I don't know. Atheist means I don't believe, right? Agnostic atheist is a sentence that says I don't know, therefore I don't believe. Agnostic means I don't know. That's it. VMC says, you, me? Oh, yo, okay. Arav says, rebuttal to, I can't think of how X could be created naturally, hence it must be supernatural. I smell a fallacy. Yes, it's called an argument from ignorance. A logical fallacy called argument from ignorance. Yellow Satan says, agnostic in itself means uncertain about something, and agnostic atheist has a meaning. Okay. Newski says, what is your point of view on pro-life and pro-choice in USA? I'm pro-choice. I think if the decision has to do with the body of a woman, the woman gets to decide what is to happen. Sure, the woman may allow her partner to have a stake in that decision, and that's her call. But the decision itself belongs to the woman because it's her body. By the way, I don't even want to call it a pro life position because a lot of people who are supposedly pro life in the USA have absolutely no problem with guns running rampant and murdering people. Not guns murdering people, people murdering people using guns. They will refuse to take a stand on guns because apparently the people who die because of gun violence in America are not human, are not life. It only is limited to exploitation of women. And because they don't want to call themselves the woman exploiting side, they call themselves the pro life side. It's like how the war department gets called the defense department. It's a little like that. Sumana says, I have always heard Islamophobia and caste slurs growing up, and this was pre-internet era. I just believed it was normal. Yeah. I think the shamelessness that has been foisted upon all of us has had at least one good impact, which is that we now have to take clear positions on matters and we cannot simply just apolitical centrist anymore. People still try to do it though. VMC says, for once, I wish I was a theist. Now completely flunked my JE main. Did SM worse than I thought I would do. My confidence for upcoming exams is taking a toll. Why? How would being a theist help here? Like I'm sure you will do whatever you need to find solace at a time like this. I can understand how terrible exams can make you feel, but how will being a theist help here? Will it change what has happened, and will it improve your chances of doing better next time? No, right? I'm sure you understand that it won't. So if you have a broken arm, applying a band-aid to it is not going to help. Understand the problem and find a solution to it. This one is not a solution. Uh, SAK says Vimoh is one of the smartest person I witnessed on YouTube. Thanks. I'll just call you SAK if that's okay. Yeah, because I keep flunking your name and I don't want to mispronounce it anymore. Not flunking your name, floundering when pronouncing your name. What a word confusion to have in response to a comment that is calling me smart. Um, Itachi Uchiha. Are Itachi ji aap? Caste slurs are always normal. It was shocking when the internet exposed the reality. Yeah, I think I don't think you guys mean normal. It was common. Yeah, common is the word you're looking for. I think it should not be normal. Philanthropist says VMC same seems I will revert back for exams. Okay, skipping people अपने exams की बात करें. तुम सब एक ही जगह पढ़ते हो क्या? Like मेरे has my live stream become popular in one college somewhere? Newski says, not my question. If you had evidence of God, would you become a Hindu? It would depend on the evidence, no? If you just say evidence for God, what would that even mean? Right? Orion says, hi Vimoh. Andhabhakt say that they had a Varna system based on job and Sati Pratha and caste system was introduced by Britishers to divide and rule. Both can be possible. Can we say 100% sure caste system was part of India always? Yes, we can because it has been mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. The only way Andhabhakts can deny that is if they say Bhagavad Gita was composed in modern times, which, by the way, a lot of people do say. Itachi says, present the evidence first and then we will think about being Hindu. Yeah, without the evidence, like, just saying if you had evidence does not mean anything. I can similarly ask you, if you had evidence, would you believe that I am the emperor of the universe? Sarcastic skeptic says, as we are atheists aware of the problems with religion and concept of God in society, isn't it our responsibility to make people aware of rationality out of maybe care and worry for development? It is. But look at it this way: when I think this may have something like I don't know why you're asking. I think this may have something to do with the fact that certain rationalists, certain atheists get called out for being counterproductive. Like their work does not help. My point is, if you're making people aware of something, what is the goal? You want them to change the bad habit, right? Is it enough to make them aware of the rational position, or do you have to do something more? Is it enough to make sarcastic comments about them? Will that actually change their minds? My point is, if you are going to change someone's mind, do the thing that is required to change their mind. if your approach, regardless of how well intentioned it may be, is only doing the opposite, if you're just pushing people away, then it's not a very good method. I think I'm kind of assuming that you're talking about my the point I made in my previous episode. Apologies if you are not saying that, but yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a responsibility of everyone to spread more awareness in society. Hey, there's a $5 super chat from Amit. Hi, Amit. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Amit says, if I get evidence for God, I will be a theist. Doesn't mean I think that God is worth following. I think a lot of people, when they say theist, they mean that, follow God. They mean that you don't only believe that God exists, you also think that God is worth following. Vinod says left is stuck in class conflict, which does not work in country like India, which is caste driven. That's why they are on the verge of extinction as a political party. The left is not a political party, baby. The left is an ideology. There are some political parties which are leftist. There are right wingers who think that Congress is left winger. There are members of the Congress who think that the Congress is not right wing, not left wing, and centrist. It's not as simple as being the left being a political party. You need to read more. And of course, this idea of being stuck in class conflict, which does not work in a country like India, which is caste driven. I don't know what you exactly mean by that, but there are certain anti caste scholars who really have a bone to pick with leftist historians and scholars who say that, Marxist interpretation of society don't correspond to India very directly, because the Indian situation, the Indian dynamic is based on caste, which seems to be more complicated. If that is what you mean, then I agree with you. But if you mean that class conflict is not worth focusing on, I just have to say that that can only be said someone who belongs to an upper class. All right, Lord, Lord Snootington, smoking his pipe, says, these caste issues, these class issues, who needs them? This country is being governed just fine by the people who we voted for. These people, I don't understand why they're getting so angry. Vinod, are you Lord Snootington? Yellow Satan says, did you watch Suzumi? I don't even know what that is. Ayman says, बहुत ही बुरा चल रहा है लामाओ. अरे, Yellow Satan says in 1970s, homosexuality was proven scientific and it was concluded that it was natural and it is not lust driven. So what it is, like, what if someone's homosexuality is lust driven? Why does it become less of an orientation just because it is lust driven? Someone's homosexuality can be lust driven, or it may not be lust driven. It can be something other than lust driven. Amit says they're not pro-life, they're anti-choice. Exactly. They're anti-choice, not pro-life. Because they don't want to call themselves anti-choice, they have taken this nice label and applied to themselves called pro-life. Yellow Satan says, but what about pansexuality? I don't know the details of pansexuality. I think pansexuality means someone who's attracted to all, right? As opposed to someone who's attracted to pans. Gives a whole different meaning to doing the dishes. Yeah. MK says, do you know anything about Queen Hyo Hwang Ok of Korea and her Ayodhya connection? No, I don't. Orion says, woke people want white characters, actors replaced by black ones. Even whites had their legacy example, Little Mermaid. Woke people, who are woke people? Orion, you keep saying woke people. Who do you mean by woke people? Last time you said wokeism. It's a random word being thrown around these days that I don't think people who use it even know what they mean by it. And by the way, the reason white people have their chaddis in a bunch over black characters replacing previously white characters is because in the 90s and previously, when white characters used to play the roles of people of color using blackface and all, nobody could raise a stink about it because people of color did not have a voice. Now they do. It is not that people have become more sensitive today, it is just that people are less willing to take shit from racist power structures. It's not about woke people. It is about a very out of balance system that has been in circulation for a long time, and most people were even people who are not okay with it could not do anything about it. Now, for the first time, their voices are being heard, and therefore, Hollywood is becoming a more diverse place. And white people have their chuddies in a bunch, and brown boys who don't have the education to understand power structures think that white people are right because they have a white what's it called? They have a uh, what's it called? Colonial hangover. Yes. Eman says, also no problem with capital punishment. In fact, some states are pushing legislations that can make punishment for abortion, capital punishment for women, so much for pro. Oh yeah, I think Eman meant pro-lifers have no problem with capital punishment. Not that she does not have a capital punishment problem, which I don't know if she does. Orion says rationality had a heavy toll on me as well. I failed my medical entrance test, but I am preparing this time, and I don't regret rationality. Becoming rational is the best thing that happened to me. Yeah. The Dark Knight says, "Hey, I just looked into Indology. Hindu is basically an Indian unbeliever. I don't know what that means. Who? Indology Hindu. I don't know who that is." Sumana says, "No one cares about JEE. I studied in a not so good engineering college 15 years later, and MIT engineers work in the same company. So don't let exams intimidate you. You don't know what future holds." Yeah. I think in Indian society, generally speaking, we put a lot of value on the institutions we pass out of. And in the long run, anyone who's in any professional capacity working somewhere will tell you that it doesn't really matter that much. Because I know of like a friend of mine went to a really like वो जर्नलिज्म कॉलेज किया वो उसी साल शुरू हुआ था and 15 years later he was in a better position in a media organization compared to people who went to IIMC and ACJ. It all has to do with how much you learn on the job, how much you integrate those learnings into your actions, and how well you perform at the job. um, Dragon says, even if an omnipotent, omniscient being is proven to exist, I am really not a fan of it. A concept of a personality we cannot hold responsible angers me more than scares me. Good point. Right. So I have someone here who has a really okay. Never mind. There's a person here whose name is Matt Walsh. Hi, Matt Walsh.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Why is your
Can
name
you
Matt
hear me?
Walsh?
No, no, it's a joke. It's not serious.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but I did have some doubts regarding just a minute, one minute.
What system?
No, no, sorry. Yeah. No,
You
I'm
had some.
saying no. The name is a joke, but I did have
Okay.
some doubts
Huh?
regarding. Can you provide? I mean, or just mention some papers or research done in the field of basically neuroscience related to transgenderism, because I mean everywhere I see it's just uh,
Have you Googled this?
you know
Have you
I
Googled this?
have, but I don't. I mean, I'm asking you for if you are aware of any proper good
No, I
studies.
like it's a live stream, man. You can't just on a live stream come to someone and say, "Can you just tell me the names of some scientific papers on neuroscience about this particular topic?" Nothing. I don't remember anything. I'm sure there are out there. I'm sure if you googled for them, you'll find it. I'm sure if you talk to a trans
Hmm.
person who's engaged in these issues, they will be able to help you out.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
That's it. Anything else? Oh, okay. Matt Walsh has gone. There is someone called Apple here. Hi, Apple. Apple.
Hi.
Hi.
So
What's
I
up?
want to talk about art.
Hmm.
Uh, so they say how all art is political.
Oh, okay. Are
I
you the
think
person
I
who
have.
asked me this on Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi.
hi. Hi. Yeah. So, what's your
How are you
question?
doing?
Good, good. What's up?
Okay. So the question was that how they say all art is political,
Hmm.
but I thought that yeah, it is political as long as the artist is political. Like
But the
if
artist
a
is political,
small
right?
yeah, but if a small toddler is drawing something,
Oh, okay. So that's a kind of expansive definition of art. Maybe I can start by asking you what you mean by art.
art is this self-expression of the artist.
Yeah. So, is the baby expressing himself?
He's drawing something, whatever
Yeah,
he
but
wants. So yeah, in
is
a
it
way, he's expressing.
so one of the definitions of art, I think we had a good conversation about this with Zachary some time ago. I don't know if you have seen that episode. We were talking about NFTs and everything. But I think the thing that we kind of sort of arrived on, and this is by no means an objective, well accepted definition, is that art requires intent and certain amount of intentional manipulation of something in order for expression to happen. So a baby scribbling something, I don't know if it counts as intent. If until 2 years of age, the baby doesn't even have a conception of self. So maybe that does not count as art.
It so baby so those drawings are not art,
But
whatever the child
a
is
baby,
drawing.
listen, if a baby, give me an example of what the baby drew. If you're
Like
just
a
talking about baby
kindergarten person, like
randomly
how we all used to draw.
drew what? Give me an example of something this baby drew. This hypothetical baby. Did this baby draw its parents?
We used to draw animals, scenery, huts,
Hmm. You also drew.
trees.
So, okay, so I remember drawing my father and my mother, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Would that be included?
yeah.
Do you not think that's political? Because the child is looking at its family, the father in a certain position, the mother in a certain position, the mother is in the kitchen perhaps. So the baby draws it that way. Do you not think that this is
No,
political
the
because
baby doesn't
it's a
draw kitchen
depiction?
and everything. The baby only draw the
No,
mother.
see, here's the thing. The baby drew the mother. The baby drew certain clothes on the mother,
See
and
now
that
we are.
itself.
See now we
Let
are.
me finish, Baba. If you're asking something, let me finish the answer. No?
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, sorry.
If the baby is drawing the mother in certain clothes, then the baby is kind of already normalizing what it is seeing at its house as its own expression. So the baby seeing the mother wearing, suppose, sari, right, draws it. Now, the definition of a woman for that baby intrinsically becomes my mother wears a sari, therefore, this is what a woman looks like. Think about this happening over and over again and what that baby learns from that. And if the baby draws the father going to office, then the baby has relegated the mother to the house and the father to the workplace. These are all political structures. The family structure that we think of as normal is a political structure. So I'm not saying that the baby is a patriarchy supporter. I'm saying that all art, even when if the art is being created by someone who exists in society and has an understanding and is developing an understanding of society or has an understanding of society, and if the art is expressing that understanding of society, then the art is inevitably political.
I think we are imposing our idea on art over here specifically because the
art
baby
does
is
not
not
have
political.
Art does not have an objective meaning. Art does not even have a very clear meaning. I'm saying is that when I say art is political, all art is political, I'm saying that everything is political.
I'm saying
We are.
that okay, 90% or 99% of art can be political because every artist has some understanding
Hmm.
of the modern society we are living in.
Let's talk about that 1% that you think is not political. Give me an example of
Yeah,
it.
so that is only I'm giving examples of the baby.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think the baby is political. The baby is uh, showing inclination towards left or right or in the middle.
So
And
you are defining political as left and right, but you're leaving out huge chunks of it. Like, for example, patriarchal views are political. Gender
yeah, so
normativeness
baby
is
doesn't know
political.
patriarchy also, right?
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's still expressing it when it draws daddy going to office and mommy cooking,
Baby
right?
doesn't draw daddy going to office. Baby only
It does.
draws
I
daddy.
have seen babies do it. I
Point.
have been a baby who has done that.
You have drawn a whole office scene
No, I have drawn my
as a
daddy
baby.
holding a briefcase and going to office. It was terrible, but I have done it. And I've seen other people who also have done it. Draw a picture of your family. People will draw mommy in the
See, I
kitchen
am
and
talking
daddy holding
about
a briefcase.
kindergarten students, like people who are uh, toddlers who are under 2 or
Listen, let
1.
me just clarify something. Let me just clarify something. The thing that
Yeah.
I just mentioned, a child drawing a father going to office and a mother in the kitchen, do you agree that that at least is political?
Yeah, but uh, I'm not talking about that child. That child is
Okay, cool,
grown up.
cool, cool, cool. I just wanted to clarify that you do understand that a thing is political. You're just disagreeing whether
Yeah,
baby
yeah, yeah.
draws
I
or
do understand that, but that child I'm not talking about. I'm talking about toddler
okay.
who's actually maybe not even going to school right now,
Hmm.
who's in the house and like 2 3 2 years old.
Okay.
He's
What
also
did they
drawing
draw?
art,
What
but
did they
that art
draw?
is not political. That I'm saying.
What did they draw? Which piece of art are you talking about? Just randomly रंग को फेंक
The
दिया दीवार
art
के ऊपर?
usually we have on our refrigerators stuck by magnets.
Right.
That
So I
like,
don't think I don't think it's a clear-cut case that none of the art drawn by a 2-year-old can be political, because it can be. However, I'm willing to concede
yeah,
that
if
maybe if
that
it's just a
is a very
scribbling.
special child who has too much knowledge,
No, no, no,
maybe,
no, no,
but
no, no. It's quite
normal
common.
children.
I I think it is quite common. Children do look around them and draw the world as they see it. And if the world has shades of politics in it, which it always does, children do reproduce it often. I am, however, willing to concede that if a child just picked up a crayon and drew four red lines on the wall, maybe I'm willing to concede that maybe that is not political. Is that okay?
Yeah, and also if a
I have
cat
another
or a
caller
dog.
waiting, man.
But my question, okay, is incomplete
Go
over
on,
here.
go on. Make this your last one.
Yeah, so the same one only, continuing
Uh,
with that.
uh,
So one example was the baby.
hmm.
Second example is an animal if draws something on a sheet of paper.
Have you seen animals draw something?
Yeah, people make animals draw things all the time.
Is that the intention of the animal or the people?
Uh,
Like, the
See, that's
dog
what
is.
I'm saying.
I
Intention.
it perhaps is possible for an elephant to look at someone painting, pick up the brush and draw a line on a canvas, right? I am not sure if that counts as art, because I don't know what the elephant's intention was. I can understand the artist drawing a tree, because I myself have the urge to
Yeah,
draw
yeah.
a tree when I look.
The intention is not involved over here because
Yeah,
the
so without
animal
intention
doesn't
is not
understand.
art, right? We just kind of established the definition of art in the beginning,
Hmm.
which is that there
Hmm.
has to be intention involved in it. And I don't know if a dog or a cat making something involves intention that belongs to the dog or
Yeah, that
and
intention is not there.
yeah, yeah. So I don't think that would count as art, right?
Okay.
Hmm.
And
Anyway,
number three was the
number three,
this
time नहीं है, एक और caller है.
cave artist, the cave paintings.
Huh, so that is art, right? People, I don't know what the cavemen were thinking, but clearly they wanted to draw a deer running away from people. They wanted to keep a record of some kind of pictographic evidence of the thing that they just saw. Surely that's art.
Yeah, yeah. But that's not political, right?
Well, it acquires political color today when an anthropologist looks at a painting like that and
Yeah,
says,
that's what
women
most
were
of the time
gatherers and no, no,
we gave it
listen.
a political lens.
No, I'm saying I don't know what was the state of affairs then. I do know that
Hmm.
when an anthropologist looks at it today and says men were hunters and women were gatherers, they're giving it a
Hmm.
political color. It is also possible that back then the reason they drew it was because that is the world they looked at around them. Maybe there was one
Hmm.
caveman who wanted to draw a woman killing an elephant, and that
Hmm.
painting got lost. So we have a dominant version of culture at that time, which showed men holding, like, obviously cave paintings are too basic to be able to tell the difference between men and women. But I hope you get my point. I don't know what
Yeah,
was the case then, but I
yeah.
do
So
know that the moment we look at a piece of art, we find politics in it.
in it,
And
yeah, yeah. Most of
it's
the time,
it's
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 the
partly,
looker, it's the viewer.
it's not only the looker, is what I'm saying. I'm saying we look at
Most
a
of
piece
the
of art, we look at a
time,
piece of art, we find some politics in it. Some of the politics
yeah,
was intended to as a part of the painting by the person who made it. Sometimes we know what that is, sometimes we don't know what that is. And often
yeah,
when we look at something, we find our own meanings in it, and that those meanings are always informed by our own politics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interpretations, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Chalo.
Okay,
Apple.
thank you.
Take it. Thanks for coming, man. Bye bye. That was Apple. The next person here is Orion. Hi, Orion.
Hey, hi, Vimoh.
Hey, what's up?
I've been recently asking questions about LGBTQ and wokeism because I'm really confused, kind of.
Okay. What do you mean by wokeism?
So woke. Uh, okay, now you might be aware what is going on Hollywood right now.
What
Pe-
is wokeism?
Some for example, we have Little Mermaid from what Disney character.
Yeah. Orion.
S- Oh,
ओरायन,
sorry.
ऑडियो ऑडियो रुक रहा है या तुम रुक रहे हो? क्या हो रहा है? Orion. Okay, I think I've lost Orion's audio. I'll try Orion in a minute. There is MK. Hi, MK. MK.
Yeah, I am here. I was
Hey,
just,
what's up?
it was there on the two windows, so I had to close one.
Okay,
Yeah, how are you?
good, good. What's up?
Nothing much. I just came in because you were there. I
Okay.
wanted to ask one of the question. Do you feel like a stupid theist and an atheist person could be together for life?
Do I mean, what was the question again?
सॉरी मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि कोई एथिस्ट इंसान और कोई रिलीजियसली फुल इंसान साथ में रह सकते हैं
What do you mean by religiously fool insan?
जो कास्टिस्ट भी है जिसको समझ
Acha.
में भी नहीं आता है कि दुनिया में
Ah,
क्या चल रहा है जिसको भगवान भी दिखाई दे रहे हैं जिसको ब्लैक मैजिक भी
okay,
दिखाई
okay.
दे
Got
रहा
it,
है
got it. So someone who's like completely lost to religion, that sort of person.
हाँ जिसको कुछ भी
Right.
समझ में नहीं आता किसी भी हालत में
Well, I think it depends on the person, right? एथिस्ट होने का मतलब ये नहीं कि वो आदमी या औरत या कोई भी फूल नहीं है, राइट? इट इज़ पॉसिबल टू बी एन एथिस्ट एंड बी अ फूल. It is possible to be religious and smart. It's possible that there's an atheist who's casteist and a religious person who's not casteist, right? सो आई डोंट थिंक मैं इस जो ये जो डिस्टिंक्शन है फूल और स्मार्ट का, आई डोंट थिंक आई एग्री विथ इट. एंड एज फार एज मैरिज एंड स्पेंडिंग टाइम एंड द लाइव्स टुगेदर इज कंसर्न, आई थिंक दैट इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द डायनामिक बिटवीन टू पीपल. आई डोंट थिंक मैं यहाँ बैठ के कह सकता हूँ कि नहीं ये दो लोग कभी एक साथ नहीं रह सकते. शायद रह सकते हैं. द वर्ल्ड इज फुल ऑफ सरप्राइजेस, मे बी दे कैन.
अच्छा ओके ओके देन इट माइट बी टफ
It might be, or it
हाँ
might not be. I mean, marriage is always tough, right? Marriage is always tough. If not for this
हाँ
reason, then for some other reason. It's never going to be the case that just because two people are atheists, their married life is going to be super chill. It's it's going to be tough, no matter what.
ओके नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या वो एथिस्ट इंसान को ट्राई करना चाहिए थीस्ट इंसान को समझाना कितनी बार ट्राई कर सकते हैं या फिर नहीं ट्राई करना चाहिए
देखो,
एक दो बार
ये अच्छा, एक्चुअली ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन है जिसके बारे में मैं इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं दे सकता, क्योंकि आई डोंट नो हु यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. आई डोंट नो हाउ गुड दैट एथिस्टिक पर्सन इज explaining wise, how bigoted the religious person is, how much their relationship will suffer as a result of these conversations, or how much it might get better as a result of these conversations. So I don't think इसका कोई ऐसे मैं बैठ के वन साइज फिट्स ऑल जवाब दे पाऊंगा.
हाँ तो फिर थीस्ट होना इतनी बुरी बात नहीं है अगर कोई उतना ज्यादा कास्टिस्ट नहीं है तो
I don't, again, I cannot say that. Maybe,
हाँ
listen, maybe the theist person is someone who believes in God, is not casteist, and is a smuggler, right? लोग इतने सिंपल नहीं होते कि हम उनको दो क्राइटेरिया के बेसिस पे अच्छा
हाँ,
या बुरा
बिल्कुल
लेबल कर सकते हैं. There may be
हाँ,
there may be 20 other things that we can't put our finger on in order to understand whether someone is a good person or bad person, or whether someone can be lived with or not lived with. That's my point.
हाँ, ये only that if some like if I have known now what does religion mean तो अब मैं तो पीछे नहीं जा सकती अब तो मैं religious नहीं हो सकती by
Hmm.
any means अब मुझे
Are you
पता चल
talking
चुका
about
है
are you talking about yourself or someone you know?
I am talking about myself and someone I know
Acha.
so I
Okay,
am
okay.
now an atheist because I now found out कि रिलीजन
Okay.
क्या था मतलब मुझे
Okay.
रिलीजन नहीं चाहिए था कभी भी बट
Hmm.
अभी मुझे कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा
Okay.
बुरी चीज है तो
Okay.
अभी क्या नुकसान हो सकते हैं किसी के थीस्ट होने पे उसको काफी कुछ हो
हाँ,
सकता है
हाँ, बिल्कुल हो सकता है. एंड आई थिंक इफ यू आर क्लियर, आई थिंक जो सवाल आप मुझसे पूछ रही हैं, आई थिंक इसके डेफिनेशन, इसके उत्तर आपको पहले से पता हैं. आई थिंक यू हैव ऑलरेडी डिसाइडेड ना?
नहीं इतना डिसाइडेड नहीं है नहीं तो नहीं पूछ रही होती हाँ और वो मैं जो
एमके 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 ये आपका आखिरी पॉइंट. हाँ, आई हैव लाइक 2 पीपल लेफ्ट.
Okay, I can always leave. I was just asking about that Sita thing, which the Pradhan Mantri keep on telling about that Sita was someone whose family went to Korea, and that's why they have a connection with Ram and all. So they keep on coming
Sita's
here.
family went to Korea. Who said this?
अरे वो है ना वो जाता है there was a lady who was married to South Korea and South Koreans feel that she was their grand something something.
I have
So
never heard of this. I have never
नहीं
heard of
सुना
this.
क्या वो भी बना रहे हैं अयोध्या में तो उसका सब करवा
अच्छा,
दिया
नहीं, I have
वो
never heard
मंदिर
of this.
मंदिर
So
बना दिया
I should not comment on something that I don't know anything about.
हाँ ठीक है आप
Cool.
मालूम करना मैं नेक्स्ट टाइम आती हूँ फिर
जी, जी, जी. ठीक है. Thank you. Bye bye. That was MK. I have like three more people. और कोई join मत करो. I have Ojas, Rakshit, and Ajay Ramachandran. So after these three people, nobody join. I will remove you if you join. Uh, just one point that I wanted to highlight here. Sumana says, as an atheist, I dated a religious person. It's hard. It might not work. Agree. Power dynamics play a role. I married an atheist in the end. Yeah. So it's always going to be on a person to person basis. Amit Matthew says, I dated a Christian too. She broke up with me because I made her question her worldview. We're still friends, just not in a relationship. Yeah, these things get in the way. But again, it's on a person to person basis. Right. Next person is Ojas. Hi, Ojas.
Hi, Vimoh. I guess
What's up?
I guess supporting casual relationships is a better thing then.
Oh, absolutely. Like no question about that from me at least.
Oh, what kind of a person are you? Are you more into casual relationships or full true
No,
love?
I try not to answer personal questions, man.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry for putting you on
It's
spot.
okay. It's okay.
Uh, I actually wanted to tell you one thing that I think before this बहुत पहले शायद मैं आया था तभी मैंने आपको
Hmm.
बोला था कि I was doing an environment impact assessment on coastal road which is being built in Mumbai,
Hmm.
and I had to tell you about a few figures, and that those are regarding the construction of the project. So per kilometer to build that road, it's
Ojas,
about 30 kilometer.
does this have anything to do with atheism?
No,
Okay.
I should make the
Okay.
point.
No, you can mail me, but the show has an agenda. And हम लोग बहुत बार divert करके किसी और दिशा में निकल जाते हैं ना. So I'm trying to
Uh,
make a concerted effort to keep us on track. If that's okay.
so बोलूं
किस
कि
बारे में है
नहीं?
ये? Like, is this about any topic that we have ever discussed?
Yeah, we had.
What?
It was about Mumbai's coastal road. Do you know about that? Do you remember?
I
It
think I
was
remember you mentioning it, but is it like is it related to culture, politics, atheism, and stuff like that?
no, it's not.
Then let's skip
Well,
it.
acha, okay, fine.
Cool.
Uh,
Did you have anything
fi-
else?
oh my God, I don't really have anything else.
That's okay. That's okay. We can always talk
Uh,
later.
yeah, sure,
Bye bye.
sure.
That was Ojas. Sorry, Ojas. Couldn't do justice to your intent. But ये live stream का एक point ये है कि I'm trying to keep it limited to the issues that are on the thumbnail or the title or the channel description. Hi, Rakshit.
Hi Vimoh, how are you doing?
I am okay. What's up?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So after so many days, I joined.
Wait,
Actually,
are you Charwak?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why have you changed your name to Rakshit?
No, actually, I'll tell little bit about this. So this like actual this is my name, but what happens is I also run that channel parallelly where I discuss on the social justice little bit and
Okay.
superstition and all those things. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your point today?
Okay, so main point यही है कि if you look problem any problem in India, it's actually problem is itself culture itself. It's not that there is some separate religion or any separate thing. It's like everything you name anything virtually. It's all
Hmm.
like kind of built up in this kind of behavior, in this kind of ritualism itself, which people call themselves as culture. I mean,
Hmm.
there is not a single ritual which doesn't mention about caste. There is not or anything like that. There is not a single traditional sanskar, so to call, which does not refer to certain god or certain gurudom or a guru's
Yeah, that
blessing.
would be the nature of culture and religion, right? If there is a cultural practice that is dominant in the subcontinent, I think it would be caste or religion, or loosely described as culture. It's everywhere. So what is the
Uh,
point?
so the point is like, say Europe or say any other country, they kind of decoupled. See, earlier everything they had control of, say church, pope, blah blah blah, and they somehow decoupled it. But the problem in
No, I
India
mean,
is like it's
listen,
not
unka decoupling. Today only, I saw a debate between an atheist and a British TV anchor who was pro monarchy. Like, what is the source of the monarchy and the power that it wields in the UK, right? It's clearly not divorced from religion, right? So,
yeah,
divine origin of kings is what drives the existence of.
monarchy.
Yeah, yeah. So it's on paper they may have institutions, etc. But I don't think even the West has completely decoupled itself from its religious motivations.
Yeah, so what I was saying is at least maybe you can say 80% or say 85% ये हो चुका है. But in India it's like opposite totally. We haven't even probably reached 10%, and 90% is like still mixed up. And one more thing these days I have been noticing is on closer look, whatever the slogans they say, कि गोली मारो सालों को, पंचर वाला, blah blah blah. I think I
Hmm.
have tagged you as well. So
Hmm.
people don't realize this, that those people who will be clapping, अरे पंचर वाले तो ऐसे होते हैं, ताली बजाते हैं. They're not
Hmm.
realizing that you're putting an entire group of working class under the nose and making fun of them. I
Yeah.
mean, it's because again
You're
some,
not only putting an entire working class under stigma, you're using the identity of that working class as an insult, which is
yeah.
bad for both the person being insulted and the person whose identity is being used as an insult.
Yeah, and there have been people who will say, "अरे Sonia Gandhi was Italian bar, oh maid थी ये थी ये थी."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Actually, this close shows a mentality that these
Yeah,
people hate the ethnicity. They hate even it. Again, somebody who is a maid or works in a bar is not working because she likes to work there. She is working
yeah.
for economic reason.
Yeah, so the
उसको अपना
damage is
परिवार
like
चलाना है.
twofold. You're using the identity of a working class person as a gali, and then you're giving that gali to someone who doesn't deserve any gali. So it's twofold.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
one
I
of the main
mean,
reasons. Like on Instagram, one of the main problems that arises, like whenever I log on to Instagram, I usually find a left person attacking another left person, and I have always believed that that kind of shows that the left has more capacity to change itself than the right does, which doesn't even realize that any change is needed. So अरे यार, पीपल अभी ये अजय रामचंद्रन के बाद और किसी को नहीं ले रहा क्योंकि टाइम नहीं होगा. सो आई एम रिमूविंग
yeah,
एवरीवन हु हैज जॉइंड आफ्टर दैट. Ajay Ramchandran is the last person I'll take. What was I
yeah.
saying? I forgot. Stop joining now.
You
Wait.
were left versus left. You were talking about
Yeah. So I
in the
was saying
Instagram. Yeah,
ki this one of the reasons the left finds itself ineffective against the right sometimes is because the tactics they use, the cheap language, is not one of the things that is available in the leftist ka arsenal.
yeah,
So
that's
if
true.
the young people who are being described as woke and everything today, if they want to retaliate against something that is said to them from the right, they won't be able to do a great job of it because they cannot stoop to that level. So they are limited to expressing anguish and unhappiness, and that turns out to be sometimes an advantage for the right wing troll because that's what they want. The troll sends
Mm.
abusive messages so that we take screenshots of those abusive messages and share them on our social media and say, look at all the bad things these are saying. They are happy to,
Memes.
yeah, they are happy with it. They want more publicity, they want more space being taken up by their vileness. So
And
it's kind of a vicious circle, yeah.
yeah, and also one of the things that I have noticed is when I was reading the Ambedkar's book, since you were talking about caste,
Hmm.
when he writes in economics, he said the Indian economical justice cannot happen separable to that of justice for the Dalits, the tribals, and other communities. So his opinion was that the economic justice should start with them. उनको आप
Yeah.
पहले लैंड ओनरशिप दो, आप उनको प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी ओनरशिप दो, दलित्स को दो, ट्राइबल्स को
Hmm.
और ओबीसीज को दो, उसके बाद ही आप इकोनॉमिक जस्टिस ला सकते हो. And
Hmm.
today, I mean, I don't know whether political parties raise this issue or not, but I haven't seen anybody raising the issue that why can't OBC, SC, STs have the same type of ownership of land and property proportional to their population. जिनका उनका
That is why
population अगर
that is why all shit has been lost at the mention of the caste census, right? जैसे ही कास्ट सेंसस का नाम आया सबकी सिट्टी पिट्टी गुम हो गई.
but actual thing that makes more of a sense. And you know, when that happens, naturally lot of the problems of say issues between upper caste versus lower caste, ये जो भी होता है hegemonic thing, there is lot of balance and they get to express themselves more in terms of politics rather than now in the current situation where probably there are representative, उनके representative तो जाते हैं लेकिन they are not raising their issue. वो issue raise
Maybe
कर रहे हैं राम का मंदिर का वहां वहां.
that's because they're also being fed lines from above them, right? As long as the power structure has some kind of Brahminical wisdom source at the top, it's always going to be like this. But Rakshit, I
And
have to move on. I have to
yeah,
move
and
on. We are
yeah,
at the
just
58-minute mark.
yeah,
We are at the
okay, okay,
58-minute mark. I have to move on. Thank
okay,
you.
yeah. So next week I would join and
Yeah,
further
yeah, sure,
continue. Yeah,
sure. Chalo,
yeah.
bye. That was Rakshit, formerly known as the artist, for the artist formerly known as Charwak. There is Ajay, but hold on, Ajay, just 1 minute. Kale has been joined. Kale, what's up? Do you have something urgent to say?
Not particularly. Why?
Yeah, so Ajay is the
Why do
last
you think it's
caller.
urgent?
Ajay is the last caller. I told everyone to not join anymore, but you joined 3 times, so I thought you had something urgent to say.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, so you've been like,
Yeah,
like
I
you've
want
been
to end
leaving me
it
out of
like
the
by
list.
1 hour 5 minutes or 1 hour 10 minutes. So if you have like 1 point, make it quickly.
I just wanted to ask about there was a few streams ago you'd mentioned that you don't think BJP is going to win the next election. I just wanted to know why you think so. Why are you optimistic about it?
Because a lot of opposition has risen. Opposition unity is happening in chunks. The BJP has a lot of its usual mechanisms questioned by the Supreme Court. I am loosely saying I am seeing a lot more opposition against the BJP from all quarters than I was seeing 2 years ago. So even 2 years ago, I was confident that they will lose 2024. Now I'm reasonably sure that they are going to lose 2024 unless something really untoward happens.
All right, fair. I did have some other points, but we'll read it some other
Yeah.
time.
Can you
All
please
right.
come back next week?
Thanks, Anu.
Cool.
Yeah,
Bye.
sure.
Bye. That was Kale Chips. Now finally we get to Ajay. Ajay, thank you for waiting.
Are you able to hear me?
I am able to hear you.
Hey, Vimoh. This is Ajay Ramchandran. This
Hi.
is the first time on the show, but I have communicated with you a few times by email.
Okay.
Anyway,
I remember. I remember.
yeah. Anyway, I have a question for you, which is not about atheism per se, but one that is related to Indian politics, which kind of fits in with some of the things you just talked about
Hmm.
to the earlier caller. And then I have some general things about the show itself. You know, anyway, the first thing is my question. Recently I had a discussion with a friend. I mean, I live in the US. Just to give some context, I had a discussion with a friend about Indian politics. We were talking about it, and his view was that, you know, any party other than Congress is good. That is his view. Well, I was of the opposite view. You know, anyone but the BJP. But anyway, my friend had said that the Dalit support nationally for the BJP has been
Hmm.
steadily increasing over the years,
Hmm.
and they had said that, you know, as evidence, they said, looking at the poll numbers, they said that's an indicator that BJP is doing some great things for all India's citizens. I don't know where they got this number from or information from. I do remember that in 2014, I remember that there was a lot of Dalit support for BJP or Modi. But if that is true, and this doesn't seem to be true, So my question was: is there any truth to the my friend's contention that Dalit support as a whole has increased over the years? It just struck me as strange. Do you know anything about this?
I do know that in 2014, the BJP made advances towards a lot of people, and Dalits were not the only community. Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasis were not the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
community.
yes,
They
yes,
also made advances towards Muslims. In fact, a lot of people don't remember this.
right.
Like that's one of the reasons the phrase was "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas" is because
Mm,
Narendra Modi was trying to project a very, very completely disconnected from his Gujarat image, right?
I
As
see.
as far as Prime Minister is concerned.
Yes.
So, what has happened with the BJP's approach towards the BJP, towards the Dalit population, is not that the BJP has become pro Dalit. It's more the case that the BJP has managed to convince a lot of Dalits that the Hindutva bracket is where they belong, and that belonging to that bracket will end up being a good thing for them.
Mm,
What we have seen in recent years is a renaissance of loud Dalit Bahujan Adivasi voices who are speaking not from the desire to belong to the Hindu bracket or the Hindutva bracket, but from the desire to be seen for who they are, who
mm,
they have historically been treated as, and who
mhm,
they want to become, what they want to be treated as.
mm.
So the BJP is whoever says that the BJP has done a lot for Dalits. I don't know the source of the data, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I do know that the undercurrent, the social undercurrents right now seem to be like when Rahul Gandhi said that caste census ka data public karo,
Mm,
the BJP should do it. If the BJP's
exactly.
intention is to, take measures, take decisions that help out the Dalit population, then the BJP should totally do it. But the reason they won't do it is because they're married to the idea of the Hindu majority, which I have been informed is a flawed idea because a lot of Dalits do not consider themselves Hindu.
Yeah.
So if the caste census comes out, it may turn out that Hindus are not a majority, and that is why the BJP will not do it.
Mhm.
So whoever your
Yeah.
friend is who gave you this line, you should ask them about the caste census.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were correlating, just the support evidence with the poll numbers to just going to an area where BJP is doing great things for all of citizens, which is a big leap in my
Hmm.
opinion. You never know what sort of reasons everyone has for voting for a particular party. It doesn't mean that they are doing a great job, right? But anyway, I mean, those things are separate. But this statistics kind of, for me, it kind of felt strange. But anyway, that was the question, and thanks for answering it. But if I may add just a few things about the show itself, if you have time.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I nothing to add, much, but just in keeping with many people who have said the same thing, maybe to you, that I do like the stuff you're doing, and I like the clarity in
Thank you.
how you express things to say what you want to say and how you correlate different things to explain your take on any subject. I think I believe the most important thing is making these accessible to other people. I mean, I have found from personal experience and through my reading that people generally do not have the means to find or access critical information. In, for example, in totalitarian societies, this may happen by control of information by the state apparatus.
Hmm.
And in so-called free societies like US, in which I live,
Hmm.
this kind of takes the form of the New York Times famous mantra of all the news that is fit to print. Meaning anything left wing or anything critical of capitalism not
Ah,
being fit enough.
yeah.
So
Who decides what is fit? That is the question.
exactly. So, or if you
Yeah.
take the nature of capitalism itself, at least the type of capitalism that is practiced in US where I live in, it does not give people enough leisure to think about and discuss politics and political issues, which are very important to their lives. That is not to say that politics is a complex matter to be left only to the experts. You mean the passion and intelligence with which we all
No,
discuss?
that's a mistake a lot of people make, right? They think
Yeah,
political means something that has to do with political parties. They
political
don't understand
parties.
that the decisions they're making in their everyday life are also political.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, I think, if I remember, there is I remember from George Orwell, there is something, uh, no art is when you claim that you have to take politics out of art, that is a totally political position to take, something like that. I remember George Orwell's take on this in some other context. But anyway, my what I see is that people think that politics has to be discussed only by these experts, and the pundits, which is
Hmm.
not true, because we people, normal everyday people, have the passion and intelligence, to talk about different things. For example, cinema or cricket, uh, in detail analysis, which is
Yeah.
proof of our abilities. So having these reach the public is important, in my opinion. And I do also like most of your callers. They seem very shrewd and insightful. So that is also good to
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a channel with less than 4,000 subscribers. It becomes
yeah.
it becomes a niche space, so niche that anyone who would have thought, "Arey yaar, I want to say something, but a lot of these people are idiots." They say, "Hey, there is no one here. It's a sunsan jungle. I can say my mind." So that's why you have a
Yeah, I
very
mean, I do
discerning audience.
like those callers too, and the discussion too. But the thing is, today I just somehow got the opportunity to join, but usually
No, I'm glad you did.
I don't get the opportunity. That's why I kind of write to you by email whatever I find. Some of your shows which I catch while I go to office, and in the morning, maybe if it's Saturday, I catch it up on Monday or
Hmm.
Wednesday. Maybe I do it live, but I'll be working. But and then I look at it, and then if there is something it catches my mind, I kind of email it to you. But
Yeah, fair
today I
enough.
got the opportunity. I just thought I'll just join in. But yeah, good thing. I'll try to join your live show on Monday with those other people. Let's see.
Meghnad and Pranav. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that sounds interesting.
cool. Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Mhm.
That was Ajay. Hold on, let me just clear up the studio. Right. So इस समय अरे to stream इस समय इस स्क्रीन पे आता क्यों नहीं है? Hold on. I need to find a way to show this. Uh, right. So right now the channel has 3,990 subscribers. By the time the next episode happens, it'll probably be, I don't know, maybe I'm being optimistic. This channel grows at such a really slow speed. Maybe I'm being optimistic when I say that, hey, maybe I will get 10 subscribers in the next 3 days, but maybe I will, and it'll be more than 4,000 subscribers. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being along for the ride. I know it's a small channel, but I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad you all are here. So little emotional movement there. Thank you for joining. Today's live stream was fun. So many good conversations happened, and so much of the live stream was actually. I think there are questions by members here that I can take a look at a little bit. Um, Anyway, no, there's no question. Yeah, I'll just thank Chikur Chuchumb for the 110 rupee for the Exodus. Thank you, Chikur Chuchumb. Much appreciated. There is also Meta Galaxy with an Exodus. Thank you, Meta Galaxy, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Then there is okay. I already looked at all of that. Eman says we are glad you exist, Vimoh. Yeah, see, that's more than God ever did for anyone. Exist. Sorry. Anyway, uh, this has been a lovely live stream. I will remind everyone that if you become a member of the channel by clicking the join button below, you'll be helping me out. You'll be helping me buy books and software and paying my electricity bills and my internet bills. And I will appreciate it. If you want to support this channel on a one-time basis, you can simply go to vimo.stck.me. It's my blog. There's a support button there. You can click on it and you can become a member. You can also go to kadakmerch.com/vimolife. The store tab is once again visible on the main page. It wasn't for some time. But if you go to kadakmerch.com/vimolive, or if you go to the main page of this channel and you click on the store tab, you'll find t-shirts, hoodies, and cups, mugs, I think. And you can buy those, and that also helps out the channel. So thanks in advance for all of that. I will now take your leave, and the next time I see you, it will be Wednesday, when there will be no live chat, but I'll be reading comments and stuff. So thank you for joining, and good night, and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.